What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Love and Rice with your host Aunt Ma and host Christina Ma. Um,
Are you Love? And I'm Rice?
who's
Or
more
is the
Asian here? You're more
you're more
no,
Asian.
you're more Asian in terms of like being so frugal
Oh, and you're just
and also being smart.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Good comeback.
I'm more Asian
You're
in
more
terms of what?
Asian in terms of the food that you like to make for the kids
Oh yeah, I love nothing but Asian food.
and the way
You
that
know,
you scold them.
you know what's weird? What? Yeah, I do yell at them all the time because they're so bad sometimes.
Oh, no.
My God. No, so I think I'm more Asian. Okay. So prior to, I think before my 30s, I never made Asian food. Like I made Japanese food all the time because I was a sushi chef
That's
for like
true.
6 years.
Yeah.
But I never made home cooked Chinese food, stuff that I grew up with, right? Until I was like in my 30s, we were married and we started having kids. And I was like, hey, I want the kids to have memories of Chinese comfort food at home. And so I started making, asking my mom for recipes and I started making more Chinese food. And now all I do is make Chinese
That's
food.
true. And a lot of soups. That's
Yes.
huge in an Asian household.
You know how it took me so long to just ask my mom, how do I make a soup? Because I thought it was so difficult. And it's the easiest thing in the world.
Yeah. I think my mom used to always tell me how to make soups and she would teach me when I was growing up. But then, my memory. So every time she would try to teach me things, and there's so many different ingredients that you put in, I would just forget.
There's something called a pen and paper.
Or a phone.
Right.
And a notepad. Okay, so no excuses. I should be taking notes next time.
I tell you all the time, take notes if you have a bad memory. So in this episode, we're going to be talking about what is the hardest part about having kids. And I got to say that the chores, that part of the responsibility is probably the hardest in terms of like the dishes are never ending. So we have a family of 4.
Mhm.
Okay. So you're talking about when you cook, yes, you have pots and pans and stuff like that, but you also have 4 plates, 4 bowls, 4 spoons, 4 forks, 4 chopsticks. That's a lot.
Back home, when I was growing up, we would always try to conserve everything to try to avoid, because you already have so many chores that you have to do around the house and it's never ending, right?
Yeah.
So we would always have our food first. So then you have the bowl of rice, you finish all the food that's there. Once you're done with your food, then you use that same bowl and you drink the soup afterwards. But for you're notorious for using everything and putting everything in the sink. So it's you'll just get a spoon and you'll be like, oh, let me just try this really quickly. Let me put some water in here and pour it in here, and then you throw it in the sink and I'm like, ah.
Yeah, you know why? That's the chef part.
Yeah, I know. I get it.
Like, we're not trying to contaminate food or things like that. And we're, for me, if I have I want a complete meal every time. So if I have my bowl of rice, and I also want my bowl of soup because I want to drink my soup when I'm thirsty, and it's so refreshing and it feels so fulfilling like that. But if I drink my soup at the end, I'm like, I don't really care for it anymore.
Yeah, I think that's just dependent on how you grew up and stuff. So definitely that's the one thing that's hard for us, because we have different ways of doing things as well.
It's like this: when you go to a restaurant, they give you the soup first.
True.
And then they'll give you the food, right? But they'll give you the food while you're still drinking your soup.
Yeah.
So when you're actually in the middle of eating your meal, you still have soup and the food at the same time.
Yeah.
You're just being super Asian, where you're like, I don't want to wash these dishes.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's just how I grew up. But at the same time, to me, it was satisfying to have the soup towards the end, because it's kind of washing down all the oils and everything that you just ate.
That's what I'm doing while I'm eating.
Oh.
At the end, I want to have dessert.
Yeah, but I'm talking about when you're cooking and other stuff. Even sometimes I'll catch you just getting a measuring cup, putting water in it and just putting it in there, and then you toss it in the sink. I'm like, you could just put that back because it's just water. There's no contamination there. But I think that's the chef way, and you're not.
No, I can't put it back because you have to dry it first.
Yeah, you could put it back in the dishwasher, because that's what we use it for.
As Asians, guys, we don't use our dishwasher for cleaning. We use it as a drying rack.
Yes, but we are working on it, because There are a lot of research and studies showing that using a dishwasher conserves more water.
I know it, but it just stays on for like 4 hours.
I know. But that's, I guess, because it's using less water
Well,
the
what
entire
about
time. But energy, I don't know how much it's using.
yeah, I don't know either.
Yeah.
But you can't say that I try to use so many plates and stuff.
Oh, I don't say you try. You do.
No, because at the end of the meal, when I cut some watermelon, I put it on your used plate
Yeah.
because I don't want to wash more dishes.
Yeah, because there's so many already.
Well, there's a difference between, having flavors mix on a plate. You know what I mean?
That's true.
Like sometimes we'll have curry. I'm not going to put your watermelon on a used curry plate. You need to have curry watermelon.
Yeah, I think the Asian in me would be like, all right, I'm going to get this watermelon. I'm just going to hold it, not put it on my plate. I'm going to eat over it so that the juices drip on it, and then it won't mix.
So I think we're
Work
talking
smarter,
about
not harder.
part of the hardest part about having kids is not about the kids. It's about us.
Yeah.
Because we're talking about how we do things for the family.
And that's funny because when we started this episode, it wasn't really about us in that sense.
Right.
But now it does make sense though.
It's because we are the ones who are doing the chores, right?
Exactly.
So now I actually tell Leia to bring her, when she's done eating, to bring her plate over, put the scraps into the trash can, put your plate into the sink. You know? So it's just crazy that we have to wash all the dishes, because the sink is full. And before I cook, I got to wash everything and then cook with it. And then when the meal is done, it's back to being filled again.
Yeah.
It's like, what the hell just happened? And it's the same thing for laundry, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh my God, guys, when you have a family of 4, the laundry does not stop.
Yeah.
Like, it's loads after loads after loads. So I would say every week, there's probably a minimum of 4 loads of laundry.
I think so.
And so this is like, okay, so for me, this is now where we're the opposites. The kids, they wear their pajamas, right? And in the morning, they wake up and they change. So I like to use the same pajamas, for 2 or 3 nights because it's literally just for sleeping.
Yeah.
But you give them new pajamas every single day, which is why we have more laundry every day.
And because we layer a lot of the times too, like they have the tank tops on or they would have a t-shirt under.
But why can't they wear the same pajamas the next day?
Well, they do. I try to extend it as much as I can, but sometimes like you have to do the sniff test to make sure that it smells clean. Or sometimes I'll see like if there's little stains of like food that they got on there or like milk from the morning. And I'm like, okay, I'm just going to give them new clothes.
Right.
Yeah. But usually I will try to push it out as much as I can because I do the same with my pajamas too.
I would say one of the fun parts about having kids, not necessarily the hardest, because some people think this is hard, is giving the kids a bath every day. And I actually like doing that part. I know for you, it's super easy because you actually take a bath with the kids.
Yeah.
And a lot of parents do that. Like you guys who don't have kids, you might think it's weird that, the parents bathe with the kids. But at a young age, it's like, you're gonna be wasting water anyways.
Yeah, I think if it was younger me and I saw that growing up, I would have been like, oh, that's so weird. Like they're taking a bath with their parents. But I think
like nowadays, families take showers together.
Yeah, we have a huge shower, and the kids actually really do like taking showers there. And because it's so hot now, like I just started to have showers in there, and it just makes it so much easier and it's so convenient because I can let you work and do whatever it is you need to do, and then I can just wash them and be done.
I think there's a certain age though where it's gonna stop.
Yeah, I think it should stop soon. But
Leia's 5.
Yeah.
I think it should stop now.
It should. I tried to cut it off this year already, and then I don't know what happened. You know what it is though? I try to take on as much of the responsibilities with the kids as much as possible because of how much you have been working.
But you can give them a bath separately.
It's painful for me. Like
why?
My back. Like even now just sitting here, like my back just always hurts. Like it's always hurt growing up. But I just feel it more and more now. Like it just feels so strained all the time. And the times that I do just give them a bath and I'm like outside of the bathtub, washing them and stuff, even if I have a stool to sit on, like it hurts. So if I were to give them baths, then I would have to be like, hey, Anne, can you just take can you take responsibility for it 100%?
I think Leia's at the age where she can give herself a bath.
She can.
But is she going to do it every time? Maybe for now until she gets smarter and starts faking it or something.
No, she can.
Like, did you ever fake it when you were a kid?
I don't think so. I think I actually like taking baths and like cleaning myself and stuff.
When I was in elementary school, I don't know what age this was. Maybe when I got to like 3rd or 4th grade, and my mom would always be like, okay, go take a shower. And then I would go into the shower, I'll turn it on, and I would just sit on the toilet.
Oh my gosh.
And I wouldn't shower.
No, I didn't do that.
But I was because I was young, you know.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Sometimes I was lazy. I would always take a bath though.
Yeah, I think, no, I wouldn't fake baths.
It's not like I would smell or anything, you know what I mean? Like I would just be like, I think at that young age, I was like, why do I have to? I'm clean.
Yeah, even though you're probably like pretty stinky or something.
Could have been, yeah.
But I think Leia for sure is at an age where she can wash herself, because there are times where I almost was able to like fully transition them on their own. She was like cleaning herself. She would get the sponge, put the soap, and then she would like just do everything. I think the one thing that she's not fully able to do yet is to wash her hair.
Oh,
yeah.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah,
that's true.
Because Enzo always cries about getting the suds or even just like a splash of water in his face.
Okay, here's the other hard part about dealing with the kids. It's actually mealtime. It's like work for our kids. I don't know about you guys, but they always tell every parent, give your kids a 30-minute time limit to eat. But having Asian kids, they're so small, right? We're at the bottom of the chart in terms of growth. Right? Like our kid is at like 1 percentile, things like that. So we want them to eat as much as possible. And they're such slow eaters because they got small mouths and they like to play and whatnot. And you got to yell at them to stop playing. But their 30-minute meal time sometimes takes 1 hour and then 2 hours. And then you got to tell them every 5 minutes, take your next bite. Come on, chew your food, swallow it. And then you got to do that for every single bite for 2 hours. Oh my God.
You know, I almost feel like because of the struggles that we had with Leia growing up, because, you know, she had her feeding issues since she was like 3 months old. So we started young, and it's lasted for years of being worried about her, you know, being a failure to thrive, not growing enough, doctors telling us that she's too small. Like even then, just from the last doctor's appointment, you know, they put a lot of emphasis on the fact that our kids are smaller, but they also were like, oh, well, we don't expect too much because the parents are small too. But at the same time, they still put that kind of like stress on you but they are small, you know? So I think because of constantly being told that's why we stress so much during meal times. Because there's so many times where I wanted to just be like, you know, just give them an hour max, cut them off, and that's it.
Yeah, and then if they're hungry, like eventually they're going to learn.
They'll learn, right?
But we're just like, every bite counts.
I know.
This kid needs to gain some weight, right?
Yeah. And I think that's probably something that we will eventually have to adjust to. But for now, we're maybe almost kind of doing that to ourselves.
Doing what?
Stressing ourselves out more than we should.
I mean, a little bit.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, we can't help it.
I know. Because whenever we go out to eat and then we see other families, I get so like jealous because I'm like, I see their kids eating so fast and they don't have to be told to like chew their food or to swallow it. Like they don't just like keep it in there, you know? And their kids are bigger than our kids, even though they're younger. Why. I know.
Oh, bigger than our kids, but
younger. Yeah. So I'm just like, why is it that we have to like deal with that? And I used to always think before having kids that meal times were the easiest because kids love to eat. They're going to eat everything and they're going to eat so fast and it's going to be so fulfilling. But it's been almost the opposite.
Well, our 3-year-old, our boy Enzo, he actually eats a lot, right?
Yeah.
He loves eating. He'll eat anything. He doesn't complain about food. But in the last, I would say 3 months, he has slowed down.
Yeah.
And I don't know why he's slowed down because now he's becoming like Leia.
Because he just likes to play with Leia because she's at school all the time. So when she's actually home, he wants to spend time with her. But he's also following by example. So everything that she does or he'll be eating something so well and he's like biting into it. He's eating the whole thing. And then Leia will be like, I don't like that. I don't like this part of it. And he's like, oh, I don't like this part either. And then he stops and he starts slowing down. And I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, he tries to copy everything she does.
Yeah. And I felt like he was actually a big part of her eating so well now.
Oh my gosh, that's okay. So that's probably the hardest part about having kids is watching the younger one copy everything the bigger one does.
Yeah.
Because he loves to do so many things, but the moment Leia says, I don't like it or don't want to do this, he copies her and says the same thing. And he stops.
Yeah.
Like, let's say this kid loves ice cream so much and he'll be eating his ice cream or like, okay, I'm gonna back it up. So even before we get the ice cream, I'll bring it out in a box, right? A little drumstick. And then I'll be like, who wants ice cream? And he'll be like, me. And then Leia goes, I don't want it. And he looks around. Oh, I don't want it either.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, be your own person,
what?
you know?
You love this, Enzo.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. Kids are weird. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Love and Rice. Make sure you follow us on all podcast platforms. Comment down below what topics you want us to discuss, and we'll do it. So next time, guys, peace out.